Welcome back to learning how to CAD with Autodesk Inventor. In this episode, we're going to cover sketch constraints. So to start, we're going to make a new part and a new sketch. And for now, we're just going to use the regular line tool. So first, I'm going to show you a collection of things. We're going to make a rectangle. So, oh, look, wow. There we go. So with the line tool, as you can see, it kind of continues your line however many times you click until you end your click either on this point or click and then right click OK. So as you can see, this is not a rectangle. So to make it a rectangle, first we're going to close the shape. So we're going to use this coincident constraint. Let's show that again. Coincident constraint, it's the upper left of all the constraints. This is your area where all your constraints are, this 4x3 area. Of all the constraints, I haven't used this smooth, this symmetric, the equal, or actually no, I think I've used the equal occasionally. The fix I've used, but it's kind of finicky, doesn't always work. But all the rest I've used, some more frequently than others. But that's about all of them. So to start, we're going to go with the coincident constraint, like I said. And then this tool will basically make whatever point you click on stay on whatever other either point or line that you click on. So for now, I'm just going to show you this line. So now it won't go either this way, or no, I guess it will go this way or that way, but it will also adjust the other line, so it will always be on this line, as you can see, kind of like that. But we don't want that, so we're going to undo that constraint. Bring it back though, and you can also do this with points, so we'll click on that point and this point. Now these points aren't going to change. Like, they won't leave this origin dot and they won't leave each other. So next we're going to do the perpendicular constraint. There it is. And this will, like it says, make things perpendicular, like how a rectangle should be. There we go. Now all those are perpendicular, and just for this example, I can't do that. Okay, I was gonna rotate it, but as you can see, it's not on this line. So for our next constraint, we're going to try and make it on that line. So as you can see, this word front, we're reading it the correct way. It's not like this. It's not going up to top to bottom. We can read it the correct way, left to right. So this horizontal tool will work for us, and so will the vertical tool. This horizontal tool will, like it kind of implies, make this line horizontal. And the vertical tool, I undid that, and this vertical tool will do basically the same thing except make the line vertical. And you can do it with this line too, but it will overconstrain the sketch even though it won't change the sketch at all. Yeah, I think that's all I can do with this setup. So we're going to undo those perpendicular constraints. There we go. We're going to try this parallel constraint. And they pretty much all imply exactly what they do. It will make these two lines parallel, and if I do it with this one too, boom, now it's a parallelogram, but it's not a rectangle, so we're going to add one perpendicular constraint, and now it's like this. And yet again, we're going to, actually this time, this is what happens when your word isn't the correct way. We're using this horizontal tool. We're going to click on this line. As you can see, it's kind of weird because the yellow line that shows what's horizontal appears like that. But because we're not reading this word front the right way, the horizontal alignment is off, so this will instead basically be your vertical compared to what your view is. So now you can see, let's undo that so you can see it again. There. This will then become your vertical line. And then if you do it the same with the vertical, it will instead make what appears to be a horizontal line, but really it's just based off what how this word is read. So now it's a vertical line, but when it's like this, it's a horizontal line. Now I'm just going to make a little adjustment to our rectangle here. Do this. As you can see, if you position these right, it kind of adds this perpendicular line constraint on here. And I don't want that, so I'm going to do this. And then we'll click right there. So now I want these two, this line and this line, to be both parallel and on the same level. So first I'm just going to give this guy a height so it makes it a little easier. And give this guy a height. And then now I'm going to use this collinear tool. It's right next to coincident. collinear constraint. Basically make just the two lines collinear. So now they're at the same height and they're parallel. Let's say we want this line to be the same height as this line. I don't really use this tool that often, although I probably should use it more. We can either dimension, click on this line, click over here and make it dependent, or we can forget the dimension and use this equal constraint. Click on this line and click on this line. And obviously we need to add some more constraints to make these two perpendicular. But now these two lines will be the same length, and they'll be the same length, and then if one has a dimension, it will be that height, because this one, basically blue lines mean you can't change that line. But obviously this line's blue, but basically you can change it because you can make it longer. But that was because this line over here was green. Let me go back and show that. This line's green, so you can still edit it. Show this collinear again. There it is. And then to show you the next two that I use all the time, we're going to go back to our drivetrain assembly. And I've added sprockets to the wheels since the last episode. We're going to go to the Sketch tab, Start 2D Sketch, and then go Maneuver so we can click on this face. Right there. And then I want this to be like this. This is kind of annoying, but there's really no way to fix this. The origin lines, I mean. And then because we can't see our sprockets right now, but we really want to, except for like through here, we're going to go right click and then go down to Slice Graphics, or what is that, F2? To unslice the graphics, oh, it wasn't slicing the graphics. Oh, nice. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it's back. It was a little glitched out, I think. Let's try that F2 button. Yeah, that doesn't really work. So just right click, go to Slice Graphics. And now those wheels will still be there, but you can't see them while you're in your sketch. So we want to, let's say we're going to make a belt placeholder, or a chain placeholder. I always call them the same thing, even though they're completely different. Which is kind of an important thing to add, because sometimes you'll have a belt or a chain clipping through a motor, and you'll be able to notice this if you add a placeholder. Otherwise, you'll have built your robot and then go to put chain on and be like, oh no, we can't do this. It doesn't fit. So we're just going to add 2 circles for now. And then project geometry. This can either be a construction line or not, because it's just one line. And click on this. It looks like a flat line, but it's actually a arc. And do the same for this side. There we go. That'll make this center point also appear. And then turn that off. Go and click this concentric constraint. And then click on this edge of this circle, and then go find our line right here. Now the centers of these two are in the same spot. We'll do the same with this side. There we go. Now the tangent tool, you can use this 2 ways. A, it will work to make a circle and a circle become the same size, like this. Do the same on the other side. There we go. Or you can put a line down between these two. Make sure it doesn't have a... Actually, I suppose this one in particular could have a horizontal constraint. That would be fine. But in general, make sure it doesn't have a horizontal constraint. Use our tangent tool again. Click on the line and click on the circle. And do the same on this side. And finally on the bottom. Don't misclick. And now we can adjust this a little bit. I'll show you that in the next episode. But we can adjust this a little bit to make a chain placeholder. Trim those off. Finish sketch. And as you can see, now that we're done with the sketch, the wheels are back. But we can then right click and copy this and paste it into a new part. We'll just delete this for now. And paste. And as you can see, because our origin lines were kind of crooked on the actual sketch we made, it's kind of crooked here, but it really doesn't matter. Here you have to be kind of careful. You don't want to adjust anything, so you want to highlight it all and try to fix it. And in this case, everything was fixed, so that's all you have to worry about. Sometimes it doesn't work because I don't know why. I don't use that tool enough to know why. But this way, you can't adjust it at all, so that it will be the correct size when you go to put it in the actual assembly. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So that's it for this episode. In the next episode, we're going to cover sketch tools and extrusion tools that will help you make a more complex part that will both A, either save filament, or B, just look overall better.